Chinese car brands are rewriting the idea of budget. You can now get sharp designs, premium cabins, and real road presence without crossing the $20,000 line. Today, we are counting down 10 Chinese cars that look far more expensive than they actually are, and the surprises start immediately. On number 10, we have the Chery Arizo 8, a full-size executive sedan that looks far more expensive than its actual price. This car stretches 4,780 millimeters long, 1,843 millimeters wide, and 1,469 millimeters tall, riding on a 2,790 millimeter wheelbase. Those dimensions put it firmly in Audi A6 territory, giving it the road presence of a car that should cost double or triple what Chery is asking. The front end immediately announces its ambitions. A massive diamond pattern grille dominates the face, filled with intricate chrome detailing that catches light from every angle. Sharp LED headlamps sit on either side, using dual-lens projectors and dynamic turn signals that sweep across the lens when you unlock the car. The VIP welcome animation lights up the ground as you approach, a feature usually reserved for German luxury sedans. The hood is long and low, tapering into a roofline that slopes gently toward the rear like a four-door coupe. Heavy shoulder lines run the length of the body, creating shadows that make the car appear wider and more planted. The 18-inch Meteor alloy wheels fill the arches properly, and hidden in the profile is a subtle kick in the C-pillar that adds visual speed even when the car is standing still. At the rear, a full-width LED light bar connects both taillights in one continuous strip. An integrated spoiler lip sits above the boot lid, and the lower bumper features chrome exhaust surrounds and a diffuser-style insert. The overall effect is clean, expensive, and thoroughly modern. Step inside and the illusion continues. A 24.6-inch dual-screen setup wraps around the driver in one seamless glass panel, with two 12.3-inch displays merging into a continuous surface. The design mirrors what Mercedes does with MBUX, creating a cockpit that feels like it belongs in a car costing $40,000 or $50,000. The Lion 5.0 AI Smart Cockpit powers the system, offering voice control, cloud-connected navigation, Wi-Fi hotspot functionality, and a 540-degree camera system that combines 360-degree bird's-eye view with underbody cameras. The center console takes inspiration from yacht interiors, with a sculpted gear selector and a wireless fast charging pad integrated seamlessly into the surface. 64-color ambient lighting wraps around the cabin, adjustable to match your mood or the time of day. Top trims add heated and ventilated power leather seats with memory functions, a panoramic sunroof, and rear first-class sleeping pillows designed specifically for chauffeur-driven owners. Even an Audi A4 owner would quietly wonder how this cabin came together at this price point. Safety equipment reads like a premium car spec sheet. Up to 10 airbags are scattered throughout the cabin, and 18 ADAS functions handle everything from lane keeping to adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alerts, and door open warnings. The 540-degree view system records incidents automatically, functioning as a built-in dash cam even when parked. Under the hood, the Arizo 8 uses a 1.6-liter Kunpeng TGDI turbocharged engine producing 197 horsepower and 290 newton-meters of torque, paired with a 7-speed wet dual-clutch transmission. Higher trims offer a 2.0-liter T400 turbo pushing 254 horsepower and 390 newton-meters, mated to an 8-speed automatic in certain markets. The bigger engine delivers proper high-speed shove, giving the car genuine performance to back up its executive looks. Fuel economy sits around 6.5 to 7.0 liters per 100 kilometers for the 1.6-liter turbo, which translates to roughly 14 to 16 kilometers per liter. Running costs stay reasonable even with daily use, meaning the car delivers premium presence without punishing your wallet at the pump. The driving experience leans toward comfort and refinement. The long wheelbase soaks up rough surfaces well, and the cabin stays impressively quiet at highway speeds. Steering is light around town and weights up slightly on faster roads, though it prioritizes ease of use over sharp feedback. The dual-clutch gearbox shifts smoothly in automatic mode and responds quickly when you take manual control via the paddles. In China, the Arizo 8 is positioned in the 84,900 to 148,900 yuan range, depending on engine and trim, which roughly translates to $12,000 to $21,000 at current rates. Export-focused dealers list well-equipped 1.6-liter turbo DCT versions around $14,000 to $16,000 before shipping and local charges. The headline is simple: full-size German sedan money for used Corolla money. Luxury sedans turn heads, but the next one practically runs on air. On number 9, we have the BYD Chin Plus DMI, an electric-looking luxury sedan that sits comfortably within a student budget. This is BYD's volume hybrid sedan, the car that keeps disrupting the mid-size market in China by offering sleek EV styling. a full-width light bar, and a cabin that resembles a downsized Tesla Model 3 rival, all while sitting in the $11,000 to $17,000 bracket in its home market before recent discounts. The exterior sells the expensive illusion immediately. A sharply sculpted front end features full-width light signatures and a gloss black grille section that reads more EV flagship than budget hybrid. The headlights are slim and horizontal, with LED daytime running lights that sweep across the top edge. The front bumper is clean and modern, with minimal vents and a smooth lower section that prioritizes aerodynamics over aggressive styling. The side profile flows like a fastback, with a roofline that slopes gently toward the rear and clean surfacing that avoids unnecessary creases or character lines. The door handles sit flush with the body on higher trims, and the wheels are designed with aerodynamic efficiency in mind, giving the car a futuristic appearance that aligns with BYD's EV-focused brand identity. At the rear, a through-type taillight connects both sides in one continuous strip, and the boot lid features spaced-out Kin lettering that mirrors the minimalist branding strategies of premium electric brands. The bumper is smooth and simple, with no visible exhaust outlets, reinforcing the idea that this car runs primarily on electric power. Inside, BYD leans heavily into its EV design language. The center console is clean and floating, with a rotating main touchscreen that can switch between portrait and landscape orientations depending on the app or function you're using. A digital instrument cluster sits behind the steering wheel, and the dashboard uses soft-touch materials with a minimalist design philosophy that feels modern and upscale. Remote climate control and remote start allow you to pre-cool or preheat the cabin from your phone, a luxury feature that makes summer and winter commutes far more comfortable. The infotainment system connects to cloud services, offering over-the-air updates, voice control, and smartphone integration that keeps the car feeling current even years after purchase. The Chin Plus DMI uses BYD's DMI plug-in hybrid system, engineered to run the petrol engine mostly as a generator, while letting the electric motor handle the majority of driving duties. A 1.5-liter four-cylinder engine producing 110 horsepower pairs with a hybrid motor delivering up to 197 horsepower, giving the car a combined output that feels smooth and responsive in everyday use. Acceleration from 0 to 100 km per hour takes between 7.3 and 7.9 seconds depending on the variant, which is more than quick enough to embarrass older eco-sedans and keep pace with traffic confidently. The electric motor provides instant torque from a standstill, giving the car a zippy, responsive feel around town that traditional petrol engines struggle to match. The driving experience prioritizes smoothness and refinement. The electric motor dominates most driving scenarios, delivering silent acceleration and seamless power delivery. The petrol engine kicks in only when the battery is low or when you demand full acceleration, and even then it operates quietly in the background. Regenerative braking is adjustable, allowing you to choose how much the car slows down when you lift off the throttle. Interior space is generous for a mid-size sedan. Rear passengers get ample legroom, and the boot provides enough space for luggage and shopping without compromising the sleek exterior shape. The cabin stays quiet at highway speeds, with good insulation keeping wind and road noise at bay. Recent reports show BYD offering 10,000 yuan discounts, roughly $1,400, on newer Chin Plus versions to boost sales volume. That pushes transaction prices even deeper into budget territory, making the gap between the car's appearance and its actual cost even more dramatic. In its home market, the Chin Plus DMI sits around $11,000 to $17,000, depending on battery size and trim level. Export-focused listings show similar pricing, keeping it well within reach. For buyers who want hybrid efficiency, modern EV styling, and premium technology without stretching their budget, the Chin Plus DMI delivers the visual language and technological sophistication of a modern electric flagship, yet it costs less than many basic petrol sedans, making it one of the most compelling value propositions in the affordable sedan segment. Saving fuel is great, but the next one wants everyone to know you're coming. On number 8, we have the Jiazi Trumpchi MPOW, a baby AMG on hot hatch money. This is the attitude car of the list. Low, wide, angular, with quad exit exhausts and a body kit that looks like it belongs in a racing game loading screen. Yet underneath all the theater, the base 1.5-liter turbo version is priced around 118,000 yuan, roughly $16,900 MSRP in China, keeping it well below $20,000 before any discounts. The proportions immediately sell the sports sedan illusion. The car stretches 4,700 to 4,753 millimeters long, 1,850 millimeters wide, and sits just 1,432 to 1,440 millimeters tall, riding on a 2,736 millimeter wheelbase. That combination creates a long, planted stance closer to a European sports sedan than an economy four-door. The low roofline and aggressive nose make it look faster than most cars in traffic before you even know the specs. The front end is sharp and angular, with a massive honeycomb grille flanked by slim LED headlights that wrap around the corners. The bumper features large air intakes and aggressive creases that suggest performance intent, and the lower splitter adds visual width. The whole face screams hot hatch aggression translated into sedan form. Down the side, heavy shoulder lines create deep shadows along the body, and the roofline tapers toward the rear in a fastback-style slope. Large multi-spoke alloy wheels fill the arches, and on higher trims you get side skirts and red brake calipers that flash through the spokes. The door handles are conventional, but the overall stance is low and wide, giving the car a planted, athletic appearance. At the rear, a ducktail spoiler sits above the boot lid, and the bumper features a diffuser-style lower section with quad exhaust outlets that dominate the view. The taillights are slim and horizontal, connected by a thin strip across the tailgate. With bright paint and the factory aero package, this is the kind of car that looks like a $40,000 hot sedan parked next to boring crossovers. Inside, the cabin leans hard into gamer-spec cockpit territory. Deeply sculpted sports seats hold you in place during spirited driving, and the flat-bottom steering wheel feels purposeful in your hands. Bright color accents run across the dashboard and door panels, and the seats often feature contrasting stitching or piping that emphasizes the sporty character. A big digital cluster sits behind the steering wheel, displaying performance data like turbo boost pressure, G-forces, and lap times if you take the car to a track. The central infotainment screen is large and responsive, running GAC's latest software with smartphone integration and voice control. A 32-color ambient lighting system wraps around the cabin, adjustable to match your mood or driving mode. The core engine is a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, producing 177 horsepower and 270 newton-meters of torque, mated to a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox. Acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour takes around 7 seconds, putting it in warm hatch territory. The gearbox shifts quickly in manual mode and smoothly in automatic, and the turbo delivers strong mid-range punch for overtaking and on-ramp acceleration. Higher trims and R versions get a 2.0-liter turbo with up to 265 horsepower and 400 newton-meters, dropping the 0 to 100 time toward 5.7 seconds. Those variants push closer to the top of the $20,000 limit depending on market, but they deliver genuinely quick performance that backs up the aggressive exterior styling. Fuel economy sits around 5.9 to 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers combined for the 1.5-liter turbo, so you avoid paying a huge penalty at the pump for the body kit and spoiler. The car remains practical enough for daily use, with reasonable running costs and no major compromises in efficiency. The driving experience leans sporty, but stays usable. The suspension is firm enough to keep the body controlled, through corners, but compliant enough to handle rough city roads without beating you up. Steering offers decent feedback and weights up nicely at speed, giving you confidence when you push harder. The dual-clutch gearbox responds quickly to throttle inputs, and the turbo lag is minimal in normal driving. Rear seat space is adequate for adults on shorter trips, though the low roofline means taller passengers might find headroom slightly tight. The boot provides enough space for weekend luggage, and the wide opening makes loading easier. This is the car your neighbor buys for the fuel economy, but then parks where everyone in the office can see it every morning. The MPOW embodies the idea of Chinese brands doing what German tuners used to do, but from the factory and on a budget. It delivers visual drama, body kit aggression, and genuine performance, all while sitting comfortably below $20,000, making it one of the most exciting value propositions for enthusiasts on a budget. Factory aggression is impressive, though the next one might be playing dress-up. On number 7, we have the MG5 Scorpio, a fake-it-till-you-make-it sports fastback. This is what happens when a budget sedan decides it wants to cosplay as a junior BMW M Performance model. The front end features a massive grille, sharp headlights, and aggressive bumper work. The side profile flows as a sleek fastback, and the rear gets a diffuser-style bumper with dual exhaust finishers. Underneath, the Chinese MSRP sits around 95,900 yuan, roughly $13,700 for the 1.5-liter turbo DCT version, very comfortably under the $20,000 ceiling. The front grille is oversized, filled with dark mesh and teeth-like horizontal bars framed by thin LED headlamps. The bumper features large air intakes on either side and a lower splitter that adds visual width. The whole face reads aggressive and sporty, with design cues borrowed from European performance compacts. Down the side, a sloping roofline into a stubby rear deck creates an almost four-door coupe vibe. Heavy shoulder lines run the length of the body, and the windows taper toward the rear in a fastback shape. Big multi-spoke wheels fill the arches, and bright saturated colors like yellow, red, and blue are available to mimic premium performance sedans. If you debadge it in photos, many viewers would assume it's a new European compact sports sedan. At the rear, slim horizontal taillights sit above a bumper that integrates a diffuser-style lower section with twin exhaust outlets on either side. A small ducktail spoiler sits above the boot lid, and the overall stance is low and wide, reinforcing the sporty character. The design language is unmistakably tuner car from the factory. Inside, a twin-screen layout greets you, with a digital cluster behind the steering wheel and a central touchscreen for infotainment. Two-tone seats feature contrast stitching, and the sporty steering wheel has a flat bottom and thick rim. The materials are a mix of hard plastics and soft-touch surfaces, with enough premium touches to elevate the cabin above budget territory. The infotainment system runs MG's latest software with smartphone integration, voice control, and over-the-air updates. The interface is clean and responsive, and the digital cluster can be customized to show performance data like turbo boost pressure and G-forces. Ambient lighting wraps around the cabin, adjustable through the touchscreen. Despite the sporty focus, the MG5 Scorpio still offers enough backseat and boot space to work as a family car. Rear passengers get adequate legroom, and the boot provides enough volume for shopping and large luggage, even with the sloping roofline eating into vertical space. The rear seats fold down to expand cargo capacity when needed. Fuel consumption sits around 6.1 to 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers under NEDC and WLTC testing, so there's no brutal fuel penalty for the performance and body kit. The car remains practical for daily use, with reasonable running costs and no major compromises in efficiency compared to more conservative sedans in the same class. The suspension is tuned firmer than a typical family sedan, keeping the body controlled through control through corners and reducing roll during hard cornering. The steering offers decent feedback and weights up nicely at speed, giving you confidence when you push harder. The car feels planted and stable at highway speeds, and the long wheelbase helps smooth out rough surfaces. Safety features include multiple airbags, stability control, and a reinforced body structure. Higher trims add driver assistance features like adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and automatic emergency braking, bringing modern safety technology to a car that prioritizes sporty styling and performance. The dimensions measure 4,695 millimeters long, 1,842 millimeters wide, and 1,480 millimeters tall, riding on a 2,680 millimeter wheelbase. Those are basically C-segment sedan dimensions, but the coupe-like roofline and aggressive styling make it feel more special than the numbers suggest. Park this next to an older Civic or Corolla, and teenagers will point at the MG. The MG5 Scorpio delivers visual attitude way above its actual market segment. Strong power and a DCT gearbox that can genuinely be called a starter sports sedan in everyday conversation. The price point sits closer to base econo boxes in many markets than to anything with this level of presence, making it a compelling choice for enthusiasts who want sporty looks and decent performance without stretching their budget. The car proves that Chinese brands can deliver factory tuner car aesthetics and real-world fun at a fraction of what European or Japanese hot hatches cost. Compact aggression gets attention, though the next one trades attitude for sheer presence. On number 6, we have the Wuling Starlight, a full-size electric-look sedan for used hatch money. This is one of the most under-the-radar weapons in the affordable sedan segment. A Camry-sized midsize sedan that looks like a futuristic EV concept, the PHEV version sells in China for just 88,800 to 105,800 yuan, roughly $12,400 to $14,800, while the pure EV version starts around 99,800 yuan, roughly $13,800. The size immediately establishes its presence. The car measures 4,835 millimeters long, 1,860 millimeters wide, and 1,515 millimeters tall, riding on a 2,800 millimeter wheelbase. Those dimensions sit almost exactly in Toyota Camry territory, making this a proper family sedan with room to spare. The trunk offers around 540 liters of volume, huge for family trips and enough to swallow luggage for a week-long holiday. The design language Wuling calls Starlight Aesthetic features a low nose, smooth sides, and LED light bars front and rear. Semi-hidden door handles sit flush with the body, and smart 18-inch wheels on many trims add to the clean, modern appearance. In photos or thumbnails, it simply reads as an expensive EV rather than a cheap car, and most viewers would assume a $30,000 to $40,000 price tag until you reveal the real number. The front end is smooth and minimalist, with a slim LED light bar running across the width of the nose and slim headlights integrated into the corners. The bumper is clean and aerodynamic, with minimal vents and a smooth lower section that prioritizes efficiency over aggression. The overall look is futuristic and upscale, aligning with the design language of modern electric sedans. Down the side, clean surfacing avoids unnecessary creases or character lines. The roofline slopes gently toward the rear, and the door handles are semi-hidden or flush-mounted depending on trim. The wheels are designed with aerodynamic efficiency in mind, and the overall proportions feel balanced and mature. At the rear, a full-width LED light bar connects both taillights in one continuous strip, creating a distinctive nighttime signature. The boot lid is smooth and simple, and the bumper features a clean lower section with no visible exhaust outlets on the EV version, reinforcing the electric identity. The PHEV version gets subtle exhaust finishers integrated into the bumper, but they remain understated and don't dominate the design. Inside, the Starlight leans into techie, affordable luxury. A wide, floating infotainment screen dominates the dashboard, and a digital cluster sits behind the steering wheel. The dashboard design is minimalist, with clean lines and a focus on reducing visual clutter. The center console is simple and functional, with a rotary gear selector and storage compartments built into the structure. The 540-liter boot and flattish floor make it feel like a proper long-distance family sedan rather than an econobox. Higher trims include 360-degree cameras, keyless entry, 215/50R 18 wheels, and LED lighting all around. A DAS features marketed under Wuling's Spiritual Eyes intelligent driving system are available on EV versions, including adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and automatic emergency braking. Top speed ranges from 145 to 185 kilometers per hour depending on variant, which is more than enough for family use and highway cruising. The electric motor provides smooth, instant torque from a standstill, making city driving responsive and effortless. The petrol engine kicks in only when the battery is low or when you demand full acceleration, and even then it operates quietly in the background. The driving experience prioritizes comfort and refinement. The long wheelbase soaks up rough surfaces well, and the cabin stays quiet at highway speeds with good insulation keeping wind and road noise at bay. The suspension is tuned for comfort rather than sport, delivering a smooth ride that prioritizes passenger comfort over handling sharpness. Interior space is generous across the board. Rear passengers get ample legroom thanks to the long wheelbase, and the flat floor makes the cabin feel more spacious. The boot is massive, easily swallowing suitcases and shopping bags without compromising the sleek exterior shape. The rear seats fold down to expand cargo capacity when needed. The Starlight PHEV made an immediate splash in China, with about 18,294 units sold in the very first month after launch, showing real mainstream traction rather than just brochure hype. That level of early success suggests buyers are responding to the combination of size, efficiency, and modern styling at an affordable price. Meanwhile, mainstream brands are still charging near-luxury money for sedans that look like rental cars next to this. The Starlight proves that Chinese brands can deliver Camry-sized proportions, EV-face styling, and LED everything for under $15,000, a value proposition that feels almost too good to be true. This is Wuling's first ever sedan, marking a significant brand evolution from their commercial vehicle and budget MPV roots. The Starlight shows that the brand can compete in the mainstream sedan segment with a product that feels genuinely premium and forward-thinking, making it one of the most compelling, affordable family sedans available today. Camry dimensions are solid, though some vehicles look like they're from the future. On number 5, we have the Chang'an Yuna IT, a cyberpunk crossover that looks double its price. What? This is one of those cars that makes people say, wait, that is Chinese, and then immediately ask how much it costs. On paper, it's a compact crossover, measuring 4,515 millimeters long, 1,870 millimeters wide, and 1,565 millimeters tall, riding on a 2,710 millimeter wheelbase. Those dimensions sit in Tiguan and Sportage territory, making it a proper family crossover with genuine interior space. Under the hood sits a 1.5-liter turbo petrol engine producing around 132 kilowatts, roughly 180 horsepower, and 300 newton-meters of torque, paired with a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox. Real-world fuel consumption sits in the low 6 liters per 100 kilometers range, keeping running costs reasonable for everyday use. In China, the refreshed Yuna IT has been listed in the 115,900 to 139,900 yuan range, roughly $16,000 to $19,000 depending on trim and exchange rate. That price sits exactly within the under $20,000 brief. Yet to Western viewers, this looks like something that should start at $35,000 to $40,000 in a showroom next to German crossovers. That price-image mismatch is pure value theater. Visually, the Yuna IT is full concept car drama. The borderless parametric grille uses around 150 diamond elements that fade into the body rather than stopping at a chrome frame. The headlights are ultra slim and pushed high into the body, with secondary lighting elements sunk into aggressive corner inlets. The whole face reads futuristic and aggressive, like something from a sci-fi film rather than a budget crossover. From the side, hidden pop-out door handles sit flush with the body until you unlock the car, adding to the tech-forward appearance. Heavy surfacing creates deep shadows along the flanks, and big 20-inch alloy wheels fill the arches properly. A sharply kicked up C-pillar makes it read more coupe SUV than family crossover, adding visual drama and sportiness to the profile. At the rear, a dramatic V-shaped twin spoiler dominates the roofline, and quad exhaust outlets give it tuner car energy straight from the factory. The taillights are slim and horizontal, wrapping around the corners, and the bumper features a diffuser-style lower section. The overall effect is aggressive and distinctive, standing out in traffic far more than its price suggests it should. Inside, the UNIT keeps the illusion going. The cockpit is built around a twin-screen setup with an instrument cluster and central infotainment display merged into one sweeping panel that's canted toward the driver. A spaceship-style electronic shifter sits in the center console, and 15-watt wireless charging pad sits nearby for convenient phone charging. Ambient lighting wraps around the cabin, and a panoramic glass roof filters about 97% of UV according to Chang'an's marketing. The front seats are heavily sculpted with integrated headrests and contrast stitching, so when you open the door, the first impression is closer to an entry German luxury crossover than a budget Chinese one. Park this next to a base BMW X1 and it's the German that suddenly looks like the rental car. Materials inside mix soft-touch surfaces with harder plastics, but the overall presentation feels upscale and modern. The infotainment system runs Chang'an's latest software with smartphone integration, voice control, and over-the-air updates. The interface is clean and responsive, and the digital cluster can be customized to show different layouts and information depending on your preferences. The UNIT is marketed with L2 driver assistance features, including adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, traffic jam assistant, automatic emergency braking, and lane change assist. An APA 5.0 automatic parking system can scan for a space within 20 meters and park itself, plus a 360-degree camera system records all 4 angles like a built-in dash cam, even during parking incidents. Safety credentials are serious. The car has scored a 5-star CNCAP rating in crash tests, showing that the structure and safety systems meet high standards. Multiple airbags are scattered throughout the cabin, and stability control systems keep the car composed in emergency maneuvers. Interior space is generous for the class. Rear passengers get ample legroom thanks to the long wheelbase, and the boot provides enough volume for family luggage and shopping. The rear seats fold down to expand cargo capacity when needed, and the wide opening makes loading and unloading easier than in some rivals with tighter designs. The UNIT works perfectly as a shock opener in any affordable crossover conversation. A car that looks like a cyberpunk concept comes with serious ADAS, and yet costs less than a base Corolla in many markets if imported via Chinese exporters. This is what happens when China starts designing cars for the global social media audience first and the priceless second, creating a product that feels genuinely special and forward-thinking at a price point that seems almost impossible. Cyberpunk drama is intense, but some prefer their tech in smaller packages. On number 4, we have the Geely Coolray, a baby luxury crossover for hot hatch money. This is the hot hatch on stilts that looks premium slot in the list. On the spec sheet, it's a B-segment crossover around 4.3 to 4.4 meters long and 1.8 meters wide, riding on a wheelbase of roughly 2,600 millimeters. Most headline variants use Geely's 1.5-liter turbo 3-cylinder making roughly 130 to 135 kilowatts, about 177 to 181 horsepower, and up to 255 to 290 newton-meters of torque, paired with a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox on the company's modern BMA platform. In China, the Binyu or Coolray range has been priced in the 66,800 to 99,800 yuan band depending on trim and year, roughly $10,000 to $14,500 equivalent. Even after shipping, taxes, and dealer margins, exporters routinely ship them out well under the $20,000 mark, especially in base or mid-trims. Cross-reference that with the way it looks, junior BMW X2 from some angles and baby AMG GLA from others, and the value story writes itself. The key expensive element is the stance and detailing. The Coolray sits low and wide for its class, with a very short front overhang and paw-repumped rear haunches, so it reads as a sporty crossover rather than a cheap tall hatch. Sport trims get a black contrast roof, red brake calipers, rear diffuser-style bumper and quad exhaust tips. Up front, the expanding Cosmos grille and slim headlights look straight out of a European design studio. The side profile features a strong shoulder line, kicked-up rear haunches, and hidden door handles on higher trims. The wheels are large and fill the arches properly, and the roofline slopes gently toward the rear in a coupe-like shape. The overall stance is aggressive and planted, giving it a sporty appearance that belies its affordable price. At the rear, slim horizontal taillights wrap around the corners, and the bumper features a diffuser-style lower section with integrated exhaust outlets. A small roof spoiler sits above the rear window, adding to the sporty character. The overall design is clean and modern, with enough visual drama to stand out in traffic without feeling overdone. Inside, Geely leans into the premium impression. A dual-layer dashboard features turbine-style vents, and a flat-bottom steering wheel feels purposeful in your hands. Stitched soft-touch surfaces cover the upper dashboard and door panels, and metallic toggle switches feel more Audi than budget Chinese. The materials mix is impressive for the price, with enough soft-touch surfaces and quality details to elevate the cabin above its segment. High-spec trims bring a fully digital instrument cluster, plus a large central touchscreen running Geely's latest connected car operating system. The interface is clean and responsive, with smartphone integration, voice control, and over-the-air updates keeping the car feeling current. A 360-degree camera system, full-speed adaptive cruise control, lane-keeping assist, and automatic parking are all available, bringing technology usually reserved for far more expensive crossovers. Meanwhile, some Japanese crossovers still charge extra for features this thing includes as standard. The 1.5-liter turbo 3-cylinder paired with the 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox gives the Coolray genuine performance credentials. Acceleration from 0 to 100 km per hour takes around 7 to 8 seconds in most tests, which is legitimately quick for a family crossover in this price range. The engine delivers strong mid-range punch, making overtaking and on-ramp merging confident and enjoyable. The driving experience leans sporty but stays usable. The suspension is firmer than a typical budget crossover, keeping the body controlled through corners and reducing roll during hard cornering. Steering offers decent feedback and weights up nicely at speed, giving you confidence when you push harder. Drive modes adjust throttle response and steering weight, allowing you to choose between comfort and sport depending on your mood. Despite the sporty focus, the Coolray remains frugal enough to be a daily commuter. Real-world fuel consumption sits in the reasonable range for a turbocharged crossover, and the small displacement 3-cylinder engine keeps running costs manageable. In export markets, it's pitched as a sporty city crossover with paddle shifters and a slightly firmer suspension tune that prioritizes engagement over comfort. Interior space is adequate for a compact crossover. Rear passengers get decent legroom for shorter trips, though taller adults might find the space slightly tight on longer journeys. The boot provides enough volume for shopping and weekend luggage, and the rear seats fold down to expand cargo capacity when needed. The wide opening makes loading and unloading easier than in some rivals. The Coolray proves that Chinese brands can deliver European design language, sporty driving dynamics, and premium cabin quality at a fraction of what established brands charge, making it one of the most compelling compact crossovers for enthusiasts who want style and fun without the badge tax. Baby luxury crossovers thrill, though the next one takes a completely different approach. On number 3, we have the Haval Jolion, a baby Lexus look on budget SUV money. The Haval Jolion from Great Wall Motors covers the family SUV that looks like a premium Japanese crossover slot, built on GWM's LEMON modular platform. Dimension-wise, it's a classic compact SUV measuring around 4,472 mm long, 1,841 mm wide, and 1,619 mm tall, riding on a 2,700 mm wheelbase. Those dimensions sit very close to a RAV4 or Corolla Cross footprint, making it a proper family hauler with genuine space inside. Power usually comes from a 1.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder making about 110 to 130 kilowatts, roughly 147 to 174 horsepower, and 210 to 290 newton-meters of torque, paired with either a 6-speed manual or 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. Many markets also get a hybrid powertrain that adds electric assist for improved efficiency and smoother low-speed driving. In China at launch, the Jolion sat in the low to mid 100,000 yuan band, and on export and used import channels, you routinely see 2021 to 2023 Jolions listed from around $10,000 to $12,000 per unit for low mileage examples, sometimes even less for higher mileage cars. That means even after logistics and taxes, a well-spec'd Jolion can still land under $20,000 in many countries, especially relevant for viewers already seeing them in places like South Africa, the Middle East, and Pakistan. And the expensive look comes from the proportions and surface treatment. The front end is dominated by a huge chrome jewel grille with vertical bars, framed by intricate LED headlights and daytime running lights that have very strong Lexus NX vibes. The bumper features large air intakes and a clean lower section, and the whole face reads upscale Japanese rather than budget Chinese. The side profile is clean and modern, with a strong shoulder line running the length of the body and minimal black plastic cladding. Chrome window trim wraps around the glass, and the wheels are designed with style in mind, filling the arches properly. The roofline flows smoothly into the rear, and the overall proportions are balanced and mature. At the rear, the taillights are crisp and high set, with a full-width trim piece tying them together visually. A faux diffuser bumper treatment adds visual interest to the lower section, and the overall design feels far more premium than the price suggests. If your neighbor just financed a basic crossover for nearly double the money, maybe keep quiet about what a Jolion like this actually costs. Inside, the Jolion goes hard on the soft touch and big screens approach. Many export trims get a full-width minimalist dashboard with a large floating central touchscreen, often 12.3 inches in newer versions, plus a digital instrument display behind the steering wheel. An electronic shifter sits in the center console, and an electronic parking brake with auto hold simplifies stop and go driving. The center console is clean with hidden storage compartments built in. Materials throughout the cabin lean European in feel. Faux leather seats feature stitched panels, and the dashboard uses soft touch surfaces on the upper sections. Metallic look trim accents add visual interest, and the overall presentation feels genuinely upscale. Modern amenities include a panoramic sunroof, 360-degree cameras, front and rear parking sensors, and in hybrid models, extra drive modes with EV-like behavior in city traffic. The infotainment system runs GWM's latest software with smartphone integration, voice control, and cloud connectivity. The interface is clean and responsive, and the digital cluster can be customized to show different layouts and information. Navigation is built in, and over-the-air updates keep the system current over time. Safety and driver assistance features are comprehensive. Multiple airbags are scattered throughout the cabin, and stability control systems keep the car composed in emergency situations. Depending on market, you get adaptive cruise control, lane centering assist, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross traffic alert, bringing modern safety technology to a car priced like a budget option. Interior space is generous across the board. Rear passengers get ample legroom and headroom, and the boot provides significant volume for family luggage and shopping. The rear seats fold down to expand cargo capacity when needed, and the wide opening makes loading and unloading easier than in some rivals with tighter designs. The Jolion slots perfectly as the car that makes budget SUVs look old overnight. You can compare it visually to a Lexus or high-spec RAV4, consider its features and used import pricing, and then ask the obvious question. If this is what $15,000 to $18,000 buys in modern Chinese metal, what exactly are legacy brands selling for $30,000 to $35,000? The Jolion proves that Chinese brands can deliver premium Japanese styling, comprehensive technology, and genuine family practicality at a price point that feels almost too good to be true. Lexus vibes work, but the next one channels a completely different luxury language. On number 2, we have the Roewe i5, a fake German business sedan on hatchback money. The Roewe i5, sold as MG5 in some markets, is the Audi Mercedes-looking sedan that secretly costs less than a used hatchback entry. Built by SAIC Motor, the i5 is a compact sedan around 4,676 mm long, 1,838 mm wide, and 1,498 mm tall, riding on a 2,680 mm wheelbase. Those dimensions put it firmly in C-segment territory, making it a proper mid-size sedan with genuine interior space. Generations and facelifts have brought multiple engines, but the current bread-and-butter spec uses a 1.5-liter petrol 4-cylinder, making about 95 kilowatts, roughly 129 horsepower, and 158 newton-meters of torque, paired with a CVT transmission tuned more for refinement and economy than outright speed. The pricing is almost ridiculous. Historical price bands put the i5 in the 68,900 to 115,900 yuan range, roughly $9,400 to $15,800 for various trims. A current 2024 Roewe 5 1.5 wide-liter CVT Premium is listed at about 85,900 yuan MSRP, roughly $12,300, on exporter platforms. Used examples from 2 to 4 years old regularly appear between about $4,500 and $7,800 depending on mileage. Those numbers will stun viewers when you show the car next to its German design inspiration. Design is where it looks genuinely rich. The latest facelift gives it a wide, horizontally stretched grille with a thick chrome surround and a three-dimensional mesh texture that screams Mini E-Class. The headlights are slim LED units, often with dual-element signatures, and the whole front face has the stance of a mid-size executive sedan instead of a budget compact. From the side, a strong shoulder line runs the length of the body, and subtle chrome window trim frames the glass. 17-inch alloy wheels fill the arches properly, and the overall proportions are balanced and mature. The roofline flows smoothly into the rear, and the body surfacing is clean and modern, without unnecessary creases or character lines. The rear uses a full-width or near full-width lighting layout, and a neat bumper features integrated faux exhaust surrounds. The overall effect is clean and upscale, making it camera-friendly from every angle. Even German taxis would be jealous of how executive this thing looks first rolling up to a hotel entrance. Inside, the newest i5 leans heavily into the tech-forward compact exec feel. Exporter specs and walk-around videos show a dual 10.25-inch screen layout, one for the instrument cluster and one for the infotainment, running SAIC's Zebra connected car system with built-in navigation, voice control, 4G connectivity, and app integration. The interface is clean and modern, bringing smartphone-like functionality to the dashboard. The driving experience prioritizes smoothness and efficiency. The 1.5-liter engine delivers adequate power for city and highway use, with enough mid-range torque for confident overtaking when needed. The CVT transmission operates smoothly, keeping engine revs low at cruising speeds and responding predictably to throttle inputs. The overall character is refined and easygoing rather than sporty or engaging. The suspension is tuned for comfort, soaking up bumps and rough surfaces well while keeping the body reasonably controlled through corners. Steering is light around town and weights up slightly at highway speeds, prioritizing ease of use over feedback. The cabin stays quiet at cruising speeds, with good insulation keeping wind and road noise at bay. Interior space is generous for a compact sedan. 5 adults can sit comfortably, and the boot provides over 420 liters of space, enough for family luggage and shopping. The rear seats fold down to expand cargo capacity when needed, and the wide opening makes loading and unloading easier than in some rivals. Fuel consumption sits in the 6 to 7 liters per 100 kilometers range for the 1.5-liter CVT, keeping running costs reasonable for daily use. The small displacement engine and CVT combination prioritizes efficiency over performance, making it a practical choice for commuters and families looking to minimize fuel expenses. In China, the i5 is a huge volume seller, with over 140,000 units sold in 2021 alone. On export, it essentially becomes the new MG5 that's already appearing as taxis and fleet cars in markets like Mexico and the Middle East. The contrast between the badge, unknown or MG but made in China, and the look, European Junior Executive, is a strong psychological hook that makes viewers feel like they've discovered a hidden value opportunity. The Huawei 5 proves that Chinese sedans can look like they should be dropping off suit-wearing consultants at business meetings, but in reality can be bought and run on a very normal income, making it one of the most compelling value propositions in the affordable sedan segment. Fake German style is convincing, but the next one adds genuine performance to the mix. On number 1, we have the Dongfeng Aeolus Yixuan Max, a mini Audi A6 sports sedan on a $15,000 budget. The Aeolus Yixuan Max, also known as Dongfeng Shine Max in some export markets, delivers full-on mid-size sports sedan vibes at compact car money. This thing is genuinely big, measuring around 4,797 millimeters long, 1,870 millimeters wide, and 1,475 millimeters high, riding on a 2,770 millimeter wheelbase. Those dimensions sit in Camry and Accord footprint territory, making this a proper mid-size sedan with genuine interior space. Under the hood sits a 1.5-liter turbo Mach power engine making about 140 kilowatts, roughly 190 horsepower, and 300 newton-meters of torque, paired with a GetRag 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. Newer mild hybrid versions push output up to around 145 kilowatts, roughly 197 horsepower. That gives it genuinely brisk performance for the money, with acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour around 7.4 seconds quoted in some sources. Pricing absolutely crushes expectations. At launch in China, the Yixuan Max lineup ran from 9.39 to 12.59 won yuan, roughly $13,000 to $18,000 equivalent, including both fuel and hybrid variants. Later updates have kept it in a similar bracket, even as equipment levels improved. That means you're getting D-segment size, near 200 horsepower, and comprehensive technology for less than what compact hatchbacks cost in many countries. Visually, it hits the expensive German button hard. The front is dominated by a huge frameless grille with an intricate mesh pattern and integrated LED headlights, which Chinese media themselves compare to a fighter jet intake. The hood is heavily sculpted with deep character lines, and the bumper features large air intakes and a clean lower section. The whole face reads premium European rather than budget Chinese. The body features a fastback-style roofline and a high, muscular shoulder line that creates deep shadows along the flanks. The side profile is aggressive and athletic, with minimal black plastic cladding and chrome window trim that wraps around the glass. The wheels are large and stylish, filling the arches properly and reinforcing the sporty character. At the rear, a 1.3-meter full-width blade LED light bar stretches across the entire tailgate, looking like a lightsaber at night. The boot lid features a subtle ducktail spoiler, and the bumper integrates a diffuser-style lower section with dual exhaust outlets on either side. The overall effect is Audi A6 S-Line meets Hyundai Sonata N-Line, exactly the kind of unexpected mashup that creates strong visual impact. Meanwhile, some mainstream mid-size sedans in the West still offer halogen headlights and tiny infotainment screens at this kind of money. Inside, the Yixuan Max feels like a 2025 tech product rather than a cheap sedan. A double-layer dashboard with a wraparound design flows into the door cards, creating a cockpit-like feel. A large central touchscreen, marketed as a 3D curved display in early materials, dominates the center of the dashboard. A fully digital instrument cluster sits behind the steering wheel, and a floating center console features an electronic shifter and drive mode controls. Higher trims add ambient lighting, a large sunroof, seat ventilation, and massage on some top specs, plus soft touch materials nearly everywhere you touch. The overall presentation feels genuinely premium, with attention to detail and material quality that rivals far more expensive sedans. Tech and safety are massive selling points. The Yixuan Max offers up to L3 level driver assistance in Chinese marketing, with 28 functions handled by a suite of cameras, millimeter wave radars, and ultrasonic sensors. Features include adaptive cruise control, lane centering, automatic lane changes, traffic jam assist, and automated parking, bringing technology usually reserved for luxury cars to an affordable sedan. The WindLink 6.0 or X2.0 infotainment platform gives you advanced voice control for navigation, climate and media, online services, and over-the-air updates. The system responds quickly to voice commands, and the interface is clean and modern, bringing smartphone-like functionality to the dashboard. The driving experience delivers genuine sporty character. The 1.5-liter turbo engine produces near 200 horsepower, giving the car brisk acceleration and confident overtaking ability. The Getrag dual-clutch gearbox shifts quickly in manual mode via paddle shifters and smoothly in automatic, and the turbo delivers strong mid-range punch for confident highway driving. In performance-focused Chinese media, articles literally ask if the Yixuan Max is redefining the performance threshold for 100,000 yuan sedans thanks to its 190 horsepower output and long wheelbase stability. For viewers, the big angle is simple. This looks like a tuned premium sedan, pulls like one, seats a family like one, and yet on the Chinese market, it's just another affordable local option. The Yixuan Max fits perfectly as the secret sports sedan entry, the car that reveals Chinese buyers can get near Camry-sized dimensions with almost 200 horsepower, driver assistance that rivals luxury cars in styling that could easily wear an Audi or Genesis badge with minor tweaks, all for essentially Fiesta money in some Western countries. That contrast is the kind of revelation that makes people rethink everything they thought they knew about affordable sedans, proving that Chinese brands have genuinely moved the goalpost for what mid-size performance sedans should cost and deliver. If you enjoyed this countdown, tap like and subscribe for more smart car breakdowns. Drop a comment and tell me which of these under $20,000 models you would choose for your driveway. Your pick might inspire the next video.